This is a quick picture of an unbleached closure. As you can see, the black dots. Hey guys, it's Lauren here, and today I'm going to be showing you how I bleach closures. You're going to need a lace closure, an Ardell color correcting packet. I use the color correcting packet so that it doesn't have brassiness or look red to it. You can also use red out. You need a 40 volume developer and powdered bleaching powder, and a styrofoam head, a cup to mix the mixtures in. And what I'm going to do now is just empty the BW2 powder into the mixing bowl, and I'm just going to use about half of the packet because I want to have more powder than developer, just because I want to make sure that the mixture stays thick even after I add the Ardell color corrector. So that's about how much I put in there, and as you can see, it's really not that much. So now I get ready to use my Clairol 40 volume developer. I'm just going to pour a little bit in there, about a teaspoon really, of of developer. And I'm going to start stirring that up, and just stir until the mixture starts to coagulate. And you want to make sure that the mixture is not dripping, because if it drips, then it's going to seep through the lace, and you don't want that to happen. Now I've added a few drops, maybe about 3 or so drops of the Ardell color corrector, and as you see, it's still making it not soupy. And like I said, I use the Ardell color corrector so that the hair doesn't have a so that the lace doesn't have a brassiness to it, and that it still keeps that neutral tone. So when the light hits your scalp, it won't look reddish or have like an orangey color to it. So now I have my mannequin head positioned, and as you can see, I'm going to be using 4 T-pins to put the closure on, to hold the closure down to the styrofoam head. And you don't really have to use a styrofoam head, and you don't really have to use T-pins, but you need to make sure that the closure is secure on a base that won't have the bleach seep through or anything like that. So now I'm getting ready to position the closure onto my styrofoam mannequin head, and you want to make sure that you have brushed the hair out of the way. If you don't do this, you'll end up with blonde hairs, and if you're going to wear your hair in a dark color, it's not going to look good. You could also end up with little ridges of blonde, where it's like blonde, black, and you don't want that to happen. So just make sure that you brush the hair out of the way. Securing the closure onto the styrofoam head reassures that the hairs won't get in the way of the bleach and the lace. So I placed the T-pin all the way at the end, right where the lace that is holding the hair on stops. That's where I put it. And when I put it on the other side, I make sure it's pulled taut. You want to make sure that you have the closure on nice and tight so that the lace gets onto the knots and not, just in that perfect section of where the knots are, so that you don't have to worry about it's seeping through or anything like that. So yes, so I'm just putting it on, making sure that it's all secure. I wouldn't suggest using more than about 4 pins, like I said, because if it's too tight, you may stretch the lace out a little too much, and that could result in the bleach seeping through the lace closure. You don't want that to happen. So now that I've applied all of the pins, I'm going to get ready to put the bleach onto the closure. Like I said, make sure the bleach is still thick, because if it's not, you're going to end up with blonde roots. And you don't want that to happen, because then you're going to have to go back and precisely re-dye your roots with a black color or a gray cover-up. and you're not going to want to do that because it's very tedious. It's more tedious than bleaching the closure because you could accidentally get black dye or dye onto the lace closure. So right now I am just precisely and lightly dabbing the bleach onto the closure. You don't want to rub or harshly press it in, just lightly dab and tap, because as I wanted to say again, you do not want to end up with blonde roots. That is a big giant no-no. So I am going to start at the hairline. As you can see, I'm making sure the hairs stay out of the way. Just start at the hairline and just lightly dab. And then you're going to continue on doing that throughout the entire closure. And then I have finished putting on the bleach on the closure, and I'm gonna put a plastic bag on top of the closure while I wait for it to set. You can also put it underneath a hooded dryer, but I'm not gonna do that. Or you could use a shower cap, and I let it sit for about 20 to 30 minutes, and this is the final result. When I use a lace closure, I sew down a fabric that matches my skin tone, and this is what the final results look like. So, and as I said, I use the Ardell color corrector, and that's how it's easily blending into my head. And if your Ardell color corrector really doesn't work 100%, I suggest you go ahead and get the red out. It's a shampoo, and this is the closure applied behind the hairline with the fabric and everything like that was sewn down behind the hairline. This one is glued down. And as you all know now, I use the elastic band. So there you are. Thanks for watching, you all, and have a great day. Happy bleaching of your lace closures.